Robert Plank Show, episode 278. Make more money plus get your life back using WordPress and WP Import of all things. Hi there, it's Robert Plank from WPImport.com. Welcome back to the show. And everyone is guilty of this at one time or another. I mean, even me sometimes. I'm talking about getting too carried away and biting off more than you can chew. Filling up the to-do list with way too much stuff. Don't even have a to-do list, please. Then it's a huge distraction, the to-do list, and that big long list becomes the thing you're scared to look at and maybe even feel bad when you do look at that to-do list. Now, I can also relate to my mindset about 10 years ago when even 5 minutes of money-making activities per day seemed like too much work for me. Send a quick email in the morning? Can't do that every day. People tell me to blog or post a daily video? Well, how will I have time for anything else during the day? Forget about having a daily podcast. I expected myself to post once a day for maybe 4 or 5 days and then quit. Does any of this sort of stuff sound familiar? Like I don't have time or I can't do that every day? Well, of course it does. Let's not pretend it doesn't sound familiar at all. So what changed? How is my thinking different and how can your thinking be different? Well, insight number 1 is that I exterminated not invented here syndrome and I used the right tools, and you should too. Don't invent from scratch if you can help it. In this day and age, you don't need to know HTML, CSS, you don't know how to edit graphics or even upload files. Just use WordPress and grab whatever beautiful theme you want to use for your design. Now, most of those themes look like you paid thousands of dollars for them. Then grab whatever WordPress plugins you want in order to add pop-ups, social sharing links, and so on. So just grab what gets it done now instead of delaying yourself months or even years for no dang reason. Insight number 2. Stopped switching gears and chunk instead. Speaking of WordPress, use its scheduling feature. Scheduling is one of the few hidden Easter eggs hidden in WordPress, and I'm constantly amazed at how few people know that this is a thing. Now here's how it works. Let's say you create a WordPress blog and you decide that once per day you want to post a new video reviewing the latest iPhone or Android app. That's a huge time commitment. Literally every day you're going to have to log in and research that latest app. And there's no guarantee that you'll find something good. Maybe you won't be motivated that day. Maybe you'll have something better to do, or a huge emergency will come up and stop you. And then you might miss a day, you might miss 2 days, you might miss a week, and then think to yourself, it's been 3 months since I posted a video about that latest app. It wasn't a priority back then, so why should it be a priority now? Posting 1 or 2 videos didn't seem to get me much traction, and maybe if I'd posted 50 to 100 videos, I'd see real results. But who has that sort of patience? Solution. Schedule several posts every time. With WordPress, you can add a new post. A post is a journal entry, and publish it or set it to go live instantly. Or you can change the date to go live tomorrow, in a week, or in 2 weeks. WordPress has built-in drip content. You just set the date and time of your posts into the future without any special plugins. So just imagine, on a Monday you grab 5 YouTube videos from various sources reviewing some of those latest apps with your link at the bottom. And you set those posts to go live on Tuesday morning, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning. Or how about this? On April 1st, schedule 2 weekly posts in advance. That means that on April 1st, you just scheduled posts on your blog for April 1st and April 8th. Then on April 8th, now we're talking a week later, you already had that day scheduled. So you're already ahead. On April 8th, you schedule your 2 videos to go live ahead of time on April 15th and April 22nd. Again, WordPress, add a new post, go to save it, but then change the date to set in the future, and this will drip out built-in, no plugins required, okay? So you keep up this strategy for 10 weeks. Every Monday, just post a new entry and then another one a week ahead, and you'll keep getting further and further ahead. Now, how far ahead? Well, what if you did this just 3 to 5 minutes a day for 10 weeks, okay? You started in April, 10 weeks later, it's June 3rd, and you're scheduled ahead to mid-August. Now, what if you kept doing this every week, just a few minutes a day, a few minutes every Monday? Now, by August, you're already scheduled ahead until the following year. So the more you do this, the further out you get ahead. Now, just by posting a little bit more than what you need to get yourself by today, then the website, the WordPress website, will work on autopilot for you even after you've put it out of your mind. And this is really important because constantly switching gears and putting out fires day after day is a massive time waster. Avoid it by chunking up your tasks and scheduling things out on autopilot for many weeks to come. Insight number 3. Imagine a clear, concrete vision of what the future looks like. It sounds super hokey, but most self-help, I'm talking about Napoleon Hill type of stuff, revolves around you using your imagination to imagine a clear picture of your goals. That way, not only will you know you're headed in the right direction, but you'll also get that perspective to deal with life's small setbacks, and you'll have the motivation and the enthusiasm you need to complete consistent daily actions every single day. Now, as Henry Ford says, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Napoleon Hill says, don't wait, the time will never be just right. Grant Cardone says, successful people look for problems to resolve, whereas unsuccessful people make every attempt to avoid them. President Harry Truman says, a pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunities, and an optimist is one who makes opportunities of his difficulties. Now again, as cheesy as it sounds, it's important that you let in a consistent flow of self-help information. That means that even if all you can manage is a 10-minute morning walk every day, then do some or all of these things. First, search YouTube, iTunes, and Audible for anything relating to self-help, self-improvement, productivity, motivation, mindset, Napoleon Hill, Tony Robbins, Chet Holmes, Wayne Dyer, Les Brown, and listen to just a few minutes every day. And I mentioned Audible in that list. So Audible is Amazon's audiobook marketplace, and you can go in and buy an audiobook for just a few dollars because it's digital. It's not $50 these days where you have to get a bunch of CDs or a bunch of tapes. You pay a few bucks, you can instantly download this audiobook with no waiting, and you can then install the Audible app on your phone. And this means that you can listen to any audiobook you want while driving, taking walks, and even just do it a few minutes a day. Because even if all you had was 5 minutes a day to inch through an audiobook, you could knock out maybe 3 or so of those per year, because 5 minutes a day is 30 hours per year. If you're really stuck, this is a thing that a lot of people don't do and should. Search YouTube for things like guided meditation focus, or how about NLP anxiety, or negative self-talk, or procrastination. That way, you'll find a video that solves your specific problem. You can solve whatever mental problem that you're currently working through. And before you fool yourself, come on. We're all working through something to make ourselves better. And if you're completely just kind of complacent, that's not good. You should be improving something, I think. Now, take a few minutes to write down, or maybe even speak out, your thoughts and feelings to reduce your raw, uncontrollable emotions into words that you can work through. And we have a bullet journal for this called the 4 Daily Tasks Planner, and you can grab a copy at 4dailytasks.com/planner. That's 4 FOUR as in the number 4, 4dailytasks.com/planner. Now just imagine if you use this technique that I told you about to schedule content in advance. Just imagine if you scheduled 10 blog posts, 100 blog posts, or even 200 blog posts into the future, daily or weekly. Now that not only frees up time for you to focus on more important things, but this will also encourage you with the progress you've made, and it'll toughen you up and it'll build that productivity muscle, so to speak, so that the effort that it used to take you to schedule a quick blog post, or maybe even the effort it used to take you to find a YouTube video online and schedule it, well, now you can apply this to maybe you hiring a writer on Fiverr to crank out a pack of 10 articles, and then you can just schedule them. You could write up your own articles, you could dictate your own podcast episodes, or you could record your own YouTube videos to post to your blog, and schedule ahead of time as far as you want. Now, I used to think that posting to a site even 3 times a week, even just committing to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I used to think that was real work. But think about it. There are roughly 4 weeks in every month. 3 times per week is only 12 pieces of content. which is easy. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. Just grab a couple of interesting YouTube videos, a couple of news items, or a couple of other people's blog posts to link to and report about. There you go. Insight number 4, consistent daily action and small wins. Let me sneak in another one of those motivational quotes, and here it is from Zig Ziglar. People often say that motivation doesn't last, and neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. That's from Zig Ziglar. So here's an analogy for you. Let's say that you've been exercising and dieting diligently, and one day you decide to eat 2 extra large pepperoni pizzas in the space of 10 minutes. Now, will you instantly gain weight and become a huge fat slob? Well, of course not. But let's say you've been eating fast food 5 times a day and you ballooned up to 300 pounds or 400 pounds or more. Now, if you suddenly ate one salad for one single meal and then you switched back to fast food, well, that wouldn't make much difference. Now, would it? Now, moving back to entrepreneurship and making money, what if you spent every day caught in that typical pattern that too many people get stuck into of work, TV, sleep, or just you were stuck in that cycle your whole life. And maybe once a month, you dabbled in internet marketing for about a minute or two, just a little bit. Well, you're not going to get any progress. And on the other hand, what if you woke up just 1 hour earlier and you dedicated that 1 hour to creating a product, writing sales copy, building a list, running ads, and sending emails? That's huge results added up over time. But unfortunately, way too many internet marketers and work-at-home entrepreneurs have that mindset. They have the wrong mindset. They think if they just put in the time or wait out the problem, then eventually someone will see it their way, and that's just not going to happen. Because imagine if Apple stopped innovating with the Macintosh and there was no iPhone, no iPad, no iTunes, Apple Watch, MacBook, iMac, just the original Macintosh, and they said, well, we kept making it prettier. It's version 10.0. It's faster. It's got a better floppy disk drive. That's boring. What if Amazon.com only sold books? What if you couldn't buy almost any item online from them? What if Amazon didn't sell groceries? What if Amazon never created Amazon S3? By the way, Amazon S3 powers Netflix and powers Dropbox, so those wouldn't have existed, or they would have to have used something else to create it. Now, what if Google never experimented with Google AdWords, which is their main moneymaker? What if they had stayed with just free search only? Well, they might have gone the way of Yahoo, Excite, AltaVista, Dogpile, DMOZ, and the rest. Can you think back, and can you remember when MySpace was the top website people logged into? Now, maybe Facebook would have followed suit if they hadn't stayed ahead and bought Instagram and adopted sharing and absorbed the live streaming stuff from Periscope and from Snapchat. So now look, I think we both know that looking at Apple, Amazon, Google, and Facebook give you those huge extreme examples of what to do and what not to do. So here they are again. Banish not invented here syndrome and use what already exists. If you want to reinvent a website from scratch, you're basically starting over at the beginning of the internet. Remember the 1990s? Remember GeoCities and sites like that? You remember how those websites looked. Really, really ugly. Why not start now? Why not start in 2017, 2018, 2019 with tools like WordPress? Chunk your tasks to avoid switching gears. Instead of psyching yourself to write just one single blog post or to record one single podcast or film one single video blog or post to Facebook or email your list, why not use that same time to crank out 2 or 3 or even 10 so that you have a machine that continues to produce money for you for weeks from now on automatic pilot, even when you're not thinking about it? And finally, well, actually it's not finally, but the third one, use your imagination for good instead of for evil. The average person gravitates to what could go wrong if you took a risk and moved outside your comfort zone. It's easy, and it only takes a moment to think about it. Well, what if I had created that product? What if I'd contacted some affiliates? What if I'd finished that sales letter and I'd added a buy button? It's hard to do in real life, but it's easy to imagine if you tried it and failed, because then you could say, well, it's a good thing I didn't play with that internet marketing thing. It's a good thing I didn't listen to any self-help stuff. What a waste that would have been. Will be better. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, ask yourself what could go right, and keep up the process daily. So that doesn't mean you should just phone it in or wait your turn, put in the hours, or hold out until your idea makes money. Self-awareness and course correction are huge in our line of work, which is being in business for yourself. So even if you're pressed for time with a day job, or you're old and dealing with health issues, or dealing with family, divorce, kids, you're not the first human being in history to deal with such things. So I honestly believe that no matter what your situation, you can carve out an hour or maybe 2 hours per day to grow your internet business. Jim Rohn says if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if not, you'll find an excuse. So start with our WP Import plugin, which you can grab at wpimport.com. WP Import plugin. Now with that, you can use your self-hosted WordPress site and schedule out a bunch of blog posts in advance. This is a plugin where you can upload a zip file of text files or articles or blog posts, and it will just schedule them all. So you can buy a pack of private label rights or PLR articles. You can hire a freelance writer on Fiverr, or you can even write them yourself. And WP Import, it's just $7 right now at WPImport.com. We give you as a bonus 28,000 articles. So you can literally open up this plugin. You can type in a quick keyword like WordPress, camping, jewelry, whatever, and it will give you a list of choices of new blog posts, of new content. You just click a few and you're done. You could even find 10 or 20 YouTube videos, YouTube links, and use our bulk posting feature in WP Import, and you can have a screen where you can say, here's post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4, all the way to post 10 or 20 or even more, and just schedule all those YouTube videos in advance. So go right now to WPImport.com. I'm Robert Plank, and thanks for listening.